I have to make a response quickly to Bering because he decided to make a video depicting me as a Nazi in the thumbnail, and his video was called Agree With Me or a Nazi. He was saying that's what I was saying. So, for starters, there's a little bit of irony. Agree with me or you're a Nazi is what he said I said in that video, which is not what I said. I'll get into that. So he decides to depict me as a Nazi on the thumbnail. Now, that's basically just defamation, it's character assassination. I get it, haha, it's lols, it's all just fun and games. But you shouldn't do in the thumbnail the thing that you say that the other person is doing. That's kind of like hypocrisy inception. Like, the hypocrisy of Bering is so strong that he will literally call me a Nazi in the thumbnail, and then accuse me of saying anyone who disagrees with me are Nazis. You disagree with me, so you called me a Nazi in the thumbnail. Is this two wrongs makes a right? I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, this is not an attempt to engage, this is just character assassination at its worst. So, that's the kind of low shit that I expect from Bering. Maybe he'll watch this one and chop it up and completely destroy everything I'm saying in this as well. Because it seems to be that's his go-to, that's the only thing he really cares about. It's just character assassination. And then all of your little butt-boy fans can come into the fucking comments and tell me to kill myself and I'm a faggot and can't get laid and, you know, I don't have enough testosterone, whatever. This is not like a debate. It seems to me like this kind of content that I'm making is just grist for the Bering mill so that he can get the ad revenue money. And yeah, his fans will just go on my channel and start saying hideous shit about me, and we just repeat this over and over again. So there's no conversation, there's no debate. This is just character assassination. So I'm just going to cover a few key points in his video because I don't want to waste much time on this. He said that I purposefully left out the fact that Helping Hand had a lot of subs. Made a response to Michael Rowland's.
Oh, that is priceless. Notice how Timmy Boy's cropped out the sub count of this channel? Well, there's a funny reason for that, but first you'll need some context.
Now, how is he a mind reader? Actually, and legitimately, and for real, I'm being entirely honest about this, at the point that I made the video, I don't spend a lot of time thinking about sub counts. Like, some people obsess over it, I don't really. So, when I took a screenshot of Helping Hand's channel, I didn't even think about the sub count. I think I actually only noticed that the sub count on Helping Hand's channel was really high after I'd already made the video. So I just, like, cropped the thing to make it smaller, and the sub count was off to the side, and I didn't even notice it. It was just an oversight, I didn't even notice. Because what is the relevance? I don't, you know, for some reason Bering is saying, because my fans are like a hive, and if this Helping Hand guy makes a video and then I give the Helping Hand guy a shout out and he's already got like 6,000 subs or something, or whatever, that makes him more correct and makes him more right, and obviously us on the other side are really sad about that. I don't give a fuck. I don't care about this Helping Hand character at all. I don't care how many subs he's got. Best of luck to him. If he gets lots of subs, fantastic, that's great. So it's literally an oversight. So the very first thing that Bering says is just something he made up. Now, how can I prove that it was an oversight? Well, look, I made a guest video on Michael's channel yesterday where I said this.
Some guy just made a message to me one day ago called a Helping Hand while he's got like 10,000 times more subscribers than me. It's a waste of time. No one cares about what I say. I'm useless and I'm a fucking ginger. That's what he said. He turned Australian as well. It was weird.
Now, if I was trying to ignore it on purpose, why would I have mentioned it in this video in order to mock Michael? This is just very uncharitable. It's completely made up. It's literally not what happened. It was an oversight. Fine. But don't read my mind. Don't tell me that I did it on purpose. Oh, wow, look, the sneaky Tim doing the sneaky stuff. No, it's just literally an oversight. So this fucking pimple is really annoying me. Because I wasn't going to watch this video, then I decided to, and the first point that he makes is laughable, and I just lolled. I chuckled, because it's a joke. It's not a real point. It's just, I can magically mind read. And his fans will just lap it up and be like, that's fantastic. They won't think critically. Actually, it was just an oversight, and I don't know why it's relevant. Why would I be trying to cover up the sub count?
Who tweets at me asking me to have a look at his very first video, which happens to be his own response to Michael's biological sex spectrum video. So I have a look at it, and it's really good. So I ended up giving him a plug on my channel, and apparently a lot of my viewers agree, because he went from having literally one subscriber, I'm pretty sure I was his second, to both Michael and Tim produced desperate response videos to A Helping Hand, trying to defend their indefensible position.
Desperate response videos. We were desperate to defend our position. This is hilarious. I don't care about his sub count. Fucking great. Fantastic. I wish the Helping Hand man all the best in the world, even if I disagree with him. I don't fucking care. Why do you assume that I and Michael, whatever, care about sub count as much as you? I get it. You're very insecure. You're like, it's all about the sub count or whatever. For me, it's just talking about ideas. It's just like having debate. I just appreciate conversation with people online. That's the reason I do it. So, Yeah, desperate. Oh my god, I was so desperate. I was like, oh my god, indefensible. Fuck you, man. You're a fucking douchebag. Alright, let's watch more of this crap.
But it got me thinking, aren't Michael and Tim kind of punching down? This guy publishes his very first YouTube video on his channel with just 1 subscriber. Then over the next day, 2 experienced feminist YouTube cucks make scathing response videos directed at him. Sounds like the kind of actions Tim and Michael would normally condemn.
Yes, it's very condemnable. It's very, very condemnable. Oh, look, I didn't link to his video in my response, and I think that you shouldn't link to people's videos. You linked to my video with the fucking calling me a Nazi or whatever. Now I've got heaps of people on my channel telling me to kill myself and telling me I'm a terrible person, I don't have enough testosterone, I'm a fucking beta, all the usual shit. You don't care about it, because you're a fuck stain. You're a fucking piece of shit. You don't care about the consequences of the things that you do. Alright, I'll go check out Helping Hand's thing. I will go to Helping Hand's thing right now, and if anybody is left hate because of me, they would have had to have gone out of their way to actually find his channel, because I didn't link to it, did I? I didn't link to his video. Because I am against sending my fans over to some other guy to attack him. And if anyone who is part of my channel did that, I would say, you are a piece of shit. Absolutely go fuck yourself. Oh, he's got 6,688 subscribers. That must mean that he's amazing. Can't wait to see more. Bering sent me to say nice things. The bear sent me. Let's give him a helping hand. Well done, you've done your homework. Praise, 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 praise. Praise, 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 praise. Roland says what happens when you cut funding to education and science, so people bashing Michael. Fantastic, great, good job, keep it up, blah, blah, blah. On and on and on. Just praise, 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 praise. So where is the horrible effects of my video? Is there a single person in this comment section who was attacking his video based on my response to him, in which you had to go find his channel because I didn't provide the link? Anyway, of course not. Because I don't have dogpiling fans. Maybe I don't have enough subscribers for that to be too much of a problem, but it's certainly something that I would be concerned about. That's the whole point I was making the whole time, and you're not concerned about it. You don't care about it. You don't care about it at all, because you are a low, scummy person who doesn't give a shit about how your actions hurt other people. And that's just the facts.
2 genders or sexes, because like gender and sex seems to be getting mixed up completely in this conversation.
I haven't mixed them up at all. I've been quite clear in distinguishing between gender and sex.
Yeah, but why do you assume that I was only talking about you? I was talking about the debate as a whole. All of the people talking about this. I wasn't specifically talking about you, Bering. You arrogant prick.
I have to take down Michael because Michael is a stupid SJW. He's a piece of crap. I have to destroy him because that is my purpose in life, to take down Michael because he's an SJW.
Isn't it funny how you started out by saying you appreciate that Michael made this video because it started a conversation about trans issues? Yet as soon as somebody who doesn't agree joins that conversation, it's no longer a conversation, it's Michael being taken down because he's a stupid SJW. Does that not seem a bit pathetic to you?
Did you see Helping Hand's video? Here, let me give you a reminder.
It still doesn't amount to a significant enough pushback against this pustule-ridden cancer we've come to call social justice. Shitting on SJW simpletons and entitled feminists is becoming a more popular trend by the day, but that hasn't stopped this freak show from turning social media into an Orwellian nightmare, and not least of which is the Adventure Time shirt-wearing puckered anus you're staring at right now, Michael Rowlands. Despite being caught red-fucking-handed in attempting to twist Bering's words, and then in trying to dox him over his initial choice of avatar.
Yeah, it seems like he's really just concerned about the debate. He's not trying to take down Michael, is he? Do you even pay attention to the videos that are being made and the things people are saying? You seem completely out of it. Do you even pay attention? Just go fucking look at the... You are so stupid! Why? Why are you so stupid? I do not fucking understand. Okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Michael is a stupid SJW, but that doesn't make any opposing viewpoint a takedown.
Not any. What Helping Hand specifically said. Again, here you go. Does this sound like someone who's really concerned about the debate as opposed to taking down Michael?
He still has the audacity to try and claim the moral high ground, apparently because he cares about people and is a lover of science and language. Except when he fucking isn't.
If you watch that bit in context, you'll see that I'm saying people who consider themselves to be some weird new biological sex that isn't male or female are wrong. Not that intersex people are wrong, as in their very existence is wrong, like this deceptive little fucker seems to be implying.
How did you come up with weird new biological sex? It is a spectrum, there is male or female, and then intersex is between that, so it's not male and it's not female. Which means that it's a different gender. It's just we don't exactly have the right specific name for that, because it is less common. It's more rare. But you just saying there is only male and only female, that's factually incorrect, because intersex disproves that. If there is something between male and female, it can have characteristics of both, but it's different. So at the very least, there's 3 genders. Just at the very least. So if you say there's only 2 genders, that's factually incorrect. That's just not correct. Intersex is not male, not female. It's on a spectrum, therefore, there's at least 3 genders. This is not complicated. It's not anti-science. It just is what it is. It doesn't matter how many edgelords say there's only 2 genders. They are not correct.
Just from a humanistic perspective, it's like these people do exist, they are alive. We want to try to make life as good for as many people as we possibly can.
Just from a realistic perspective, I never suggested that they didn't exist, and I never suggested that they weren't alive. And I agree with you, Tim. Of course we want to make life good for as many people as possible. I'm fascinated to know, Tim, do you think it's my objective to make life bad for people?
You stressed in your video abnormal over and over again.
They are an abnormality. They are not required for humans to reproduce. And when we talk about biological sex, we are talking about the type of reproductive organs that one possesses.
That they are wrong.
Sometimes they are wrong.
That they are abnormal.
Sometimes they are abnormal.
Helping Hand stressed that anybody who has different chromosomal makeups are born with freakish diseases and disabilities, and that it's an undesirable thing to be at all different.
The X karyotype is called Turner syndrome, marked by stunted growth, webbed necks, diminished secondary sexual characteristics, high-arched palates, turned-out elbows, mental retardation, heart defects, and autoimmune disorders, if they survive birth. XXY and XXXY are called Klinefelter syndrome, which is characterized by high-pitched voices, asexual to feminine body contours, breast enlargement, reduction in facial and body hair, sterility, language and memory complications, and shrunken testicles.
That was not a fair depiction, because if you actually read about these issues, people with different chromosomal makeups often don't have these kind of conditions and diseases. It's really a mixed bag. Certain configurations are more prone to disease, and in that sense less desirable, and other ones are less prone to disease. But they're not the hideous freak show that Helping Hand put on, and there's no use or purpose of continually just saying, they are abnormal, they are abnormal, they are abnormal, they are wrong, except propaganda. Because you are a propagandist. And the only thing you care about is painting this picture of them being freakish. Alright, okay, I did some mind reading, but you are never charitable towards other people, so why can't I be uncharitable towards you? When you learn the principle of charity, perhaps I will be more charitable towards you, but instead, Tim is a Nazi. So, go fuck yourself. I think you're a propagandist. You're just trying to make intersex people look like shit, and you also owe me an apology for completely twisting my words out of context in the whole Christy Winters doxing thing, and for continually trying to do character assassination against me. You should apologize to me.
To me, one of the problems of edgelordism is it's anti-humanist.
In what way?
It's basically dehumanizing these people and saying that you're sick, you're not needed, and you're disgusting.
Tim, they are your words. I never said anything about intersex people being sick or disgusting, and I never said anything that could be interpreted as dehumanizing intersex people.
What about this then?
They are an abnormality. They are not required for humans to reproduce.
That's the bit I was responding to. When you kept saying, they are not needed. They are abnormalities. They are unneeded for that. What's that supposed to be? That's why I said it was Nazi-like rhetoric, because they would say about gay and disabled people, etc., that they are not needed. Like, how is that an actual point about anything? That is anti-humanist, to say these people are not needed, as if it's some kind of actual point you're making. That is not a point. That is just you saying they are unneeded for propaganda purposes. How do you not understand that? Is it possible to get through to you? Is it possible? How How do I get you to listen to the things that I am saying? Now, me saying sick and disgusting, yes, that was me putting my interpretation on it. Because why do you keep saying they're abnormal over and over again? The word abnormal has negative connotations. If you actually look it up and have a look at it, it has negative connotations. That's just a fact. It just does. And there's people continually arguing like, no, it just means rare. It just means uncommon. It's not negative. No, there's a whole side to that word that's negative. They're just ignoring that and cherry-picking the positive side. I'm not cherry-picking the negative side, I'm saying there is a negative side. And based on that, it shouldn't be a catch-all to say abnormal, abnormal, abnormal about these people who are different. It should just say they're atypical, could be a possibility. It's a variation, it's uncommon, and many of them are prone to more disease and more difficulties. But that doesn't mean that you have to paint all of them as disease-ridden freaks like Helping Hand did. I think the problem is that you just have no listening comprehension. You basically see me as like enemy SJW, so you're going out of your way. Look, that's unfair, I can't read your mind. You won't interpret anything I say intellectually. Or actually, like, think about the implications and nuances of what I'm saying. You'll just have this gut reaction, like, no, that bad. Two genders. Not like Tim. Tim bad. Tim Nazi. Tim is Nazi. You know? And that's your fucking reaction? I get it. I ascribe some words to your position that you didn't like, but you responded by calling me a Nazi. So, as I said, it's an uncharitable off. I'm willing to take back the words freakish and whatever, disgusting. But I'm not taking back the idea that you're doing propaganda which emphasize that different chromosomal people are strange and abnormal, because you consistently say abnormal, and that reminds me of Nazi propaganda. Doesn't mean you're a Nazi, doesn't mean anyone who disagrees with me is a Nazi, it just reminds me of it. I'm sorry that you don't like the fact that it reminds me of it. I mean, I guess that's pretty hard for you, so you freak out and you get triggered and you say, then he's obviously saying everyone who disagrees with him is a Nazi. That's not what I'm saying. It's not what I'm saying. You just use your fucking brain.
And as far as me saying they're not needed, you're being a deceptive little cunt again and trying to make it sound like I said they're not needed as in they hold no value as people. What I said was that in order for humans to reproduce, we need two sexes, males and females. We do not need a third or a fourth biological sex in order to reproduce. Now, if you disagree, Tim, then do it properly and do it honestly. All you're doing here is feigning outrage like a typical, easily offended SJW streak of shit.
I love how many names you have to call during that. Like, that's really logical and rational bearing. Like an easily offended issue, snowflake, blah, whatever. Like, who cares, man? It's just fucking insults. Anyways, they're not needed, but what I'm asking is, why is that a point? Like, why are you pointing that? What's the purpose of that? And why do you continually say that over and over again? And why does Helping Hand say that over and over again? That reminds me of propaganda. That's what I'm saying. It reminds me of like when you just repeat something over and over again. Why is that important? Why does it matter to you? You know? Oh, they're not going to continue the species. You know, they're not needed. They're not needed for the species. They're not needed. Like, why are you saying that over and over again? It reminds me of Nazi propaganda. That's what I'm fucking saying, you dumbass.
I find it weird that because people want to own or destroy SJWs as much as they possibly can, they're willing to say the most repulsive shit, you know, just as long as they feel like they've won some kind of argument.
What repulsive shit did I say, Tim? You're making yourself look like an idiot here, mate.
I've been over it already.
What Michael was trying to say was, these are people. These are fucking people.
Bullshit. If Michael was merely saying that intersex people are people, then I'd completely agree with him. Of course they're people. What Michael was trying to say was the fact that some people are born with birth abnormalities and cannot be strictly classed as male or female means that there are multiple biological sexes, and that everyone who holds the position that there are only two biological sexes is a horrible bigot, you absolute fucking bullshit artist.
You missed the fucking point. When I say they are people, I was talking about it from a humanistic perspective, as in we shouldn't dehumanize them. And we shouldn't dehumanize them by just repeating abnormal over and over again. You act like your videos have no impact on your audience, or that the way that you present things have no impact on your audience, that it's not possible to have like a biased way of presenting information to people, normalizing the word abnormal for people who are intersex. You can't see how that might have propaganda purposes. You know, there's no cogs whirling in Bering's head here. He's not thinking. Do you really think that I was saying you were literally saying they're not people. No, I was talking about them being people from a humanistic perspective, i.e. they have the full range of human emotions and feelings and worth. That's what I was saying. And I think that your video treated them like they are worthless. And that's my opinion. That's my opinion and that's my interpretation of your video. You can not like it. Are you going to keep crying about it? Like, okay, you should try to make a video where you don't paint them as just completely superfluous and abnormal. Give it a go. Bigot was Michael's choice of words. I didn't say horrible bigot or whatever. So that's more of a response to Michael. That's not really about me. Okay, fair point. Michael was saying more than I said he was saying. Alright. I agree with that. I guess you wrecked me. Alright.
Bering in his video made a point of saying they are abnormal, Michael. They're an abnormality.
Yes, that's right, Tim. You see, normally, when a baby is born, they are born either male or female, but very rarely a baby is born who has characteristics of both male and female. The word abnormal simply means not normal. It doesn't mean disgusting or wrong or of lesser value.
This is just semantical bullshit. You saying that abnormal doesn't have negative connotations. Yeah, it does have negative connotations. We just disagree. We're not going to get over that point. Because it just intrinsically does have negative connotations. It's not a neutral word. I'm sorry to break it to you. You cannot understand in your brain, whatever the fuck it is, you cannot understand that abnormal might be taken in a negative way. I can. So we just have a difference.
I would prefer that you said they are a variation. They're a variation on human development. What the fuck's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that, Tim. If that's what you want to say, then go ahead and say that. But as far as what I say is concerned, I couldn't give a shit what you think.
Yeah, well, that's patently not true, because you just made a whole video about it. I don't give a shit what you think, Tim. Oh, I'm gonna make a video taking you down, because I don't care. Yeah, and I care. That's why I'm making a response to you. So don't pretend like you're so above it all. You're making... Unless it's just about the ad revenue money. It's just about getting the clicks, getting the views, getting the likes, because your channel turned to shit after you stole that artwork, and now you just have to keep working hard to build your channel back up, so you need some material, and I think, hey bro, if you need material, keep attacking me, and keep attacking Michael, because that, like, saves some fucking 13-year-old feminist in a bedroom some grief, okay? I can take it, I don't care. But I do care enough to make a video, so because I'm making a video, here you go.
That ridiculous hissy fit you threw at the start of this video was because I told you to go fuck yourself a few months ago after you convened all your fascist little mates to discuss the way I run my channel.
And from the get-go, I think it was kind of like an open discussion and a dialogue between people who had different points of view. You know, we had some disagreements about consent, and we had some disagreements about the way that Bering was running his channel.
That so-called hissy fit was just a parody of you, because you made a video where you said, I'm gonna change fucking nothing. Nothing on my channel, I'm fucking perfect, I'm the best, I'm Bering. Everything I say is great, I wouldn't change a single thing. To me, that was just you spitting in our face and saying, none of the information, none of the dialogue, none of the conversation or debate has actually gone into my head. Nothing's gone in there. And it's all about pride for Bering. It's just about pride. It's about crushing, destroying, defeating evil SJWs, feminists, whatever. That's the only thing that he cares about. So he made this video where he basically said, I'm gonna change nothing. And I thought that was the most childish, immature garbage I've ever seen. So I decided to make a parody. And that was my, like, in that video, I say fuck all Bering fans, all blah blah blah. But that's not true. I've met some nice Bering fans. Some of Bering's fans are quite cool. A lot of them are a lot cooler than Bering, who's just a twat. But I've talked to some good people who are his fans. But for the sake of taking that parody as far as I could, I like to intermix serious videos with joke videos. This one is a serious video. I'm not joking in this one. And that one, I just wanted to do an extreme parody of like somebody who just doesn't care about any information that they've been given from a conversation. So that's what it was. You're literally just taking a joke video and trying to make a point out of it. Now, to be fair, you know, you could say he's playing the joke defense, but I'm aware of which videos are jokes and which aren't. The one that you keep going on about, that was a joke. I wasn't actually emotionally invested in that. It wasn't a hissy fit. It was just a joke. And like some people message me and they're like, oh my god, Tim, you okay? You're really falling apart. I'm like, oh, it's just kidding. It's just fucking around. I was just making fun of the fact that Bering made a video where he told all the people he's been debating with to get fucked. Like, he's obviously not listening to anything anybody says, including me. He doesn't care what we say. So it was funny. It was amusing.
As if it's any of your fucking business. And now you want me to change the words that I use to describe things because you are the virtuous arbiter of acceptable speech.
How did you decide that? How did you decide that I was saying you have to do what I say? This is my opinion. That's why I'm called to motivate an opinion. I have an opinion. My opinion is that the way you run your channel is shitty because it results in a fuckload of dogpiling and you don't care about the negative impacts your channel has on other people. And for that, you are a shitty person. That's my opinion. So we had a debate and a conversation about the way you run your channel, but I never told you how to run it. You can tell me to get fucked, and you are telling me to get fucked, and that's fine. That's just normal everyday debate. That's whatever. But I'm going to continue giving my opinion. You can ignore my opinion, or you can tell me to get fucked, or you can just engage with me on the conversation. What's the problem? Why are you so torn up about it? I'm not the one who's getting emotional about this. I'm not the one who's saying that therefore you're an authoritarian, you're trying to, oh my god, you're trying to control me, you're going to control our words. No, this is just my opinion about a better way to discuss this than saying abnormal would be to say like atypical or some variation of something like that. That's my opinion. I'm sorry that you can't handle my fucking opinion. It's so difficult for you, isn't it? That means I'm an evil authoritarian. Oh my god, I'm coming for your words. Then I'm going to take your computer games away just like Anita Sarkeesian. Cry me a fucking river.
You sound like fucking Nazis when you say shit like that. It makes me want to throw up because you're so uncaring, you're so cruel. If anyone is just so much or slightly different from you, you'll say just about anything about them.
Right, so I'm a cruel and uncaring Nazi who makes you want to throw up because I use the word abnormal to describe something that's abnormal.
Sound like Nazis is not the same as are Nazis. I did not say you are a Nazi. I said sounds like, because that kind of rhetoric and propaganda of continually saying unneeded and undesirable and abnormal over and over again reminded me of propaganda that the Nazis did. Am I talking slowly enough for you, Bering? I could talk slower for you. Yeah?
Interesting. Well, you know who else are cruel and uncaring Nazis who will make you want to throw up, Tim? The US Institute of Health.
The very screenshot that he puts up instantly does not back up his point of view. So, surgical treatment of intersex abnormalities. So it is saying abnormalities that occur with intersex people. So it's not saying intersex people are abnormal, it's saying that intersex people can have abnormalities, and that's true. I was just talking about calling the people abnormal. He said sometimes they are abnormal, Michael. Well, a person can't be abnormal. A person can just have an abnormality. So this picture does not back you up. Doesn't support you.
And the UK's National Health Service. Fucking Nazis.
I think I would take issue with this headline, normal genitals but abnormal sexual development. But it really depends on what they mean by abnormal sexual development. Is it talking about it from a negative aspect? Their sexual development has a lot of negative health aspects, etc. to it, or are they just using it in a technical sense? But one article is a far cry from you doing a propaganda video. I was talking about the way you made your video. I wasn't talking about just random uses of abnormal around the internet. You seem very literal about this. It seems to me that if you just take things really, really literally, then you feel like you're always right. So, alright, continue taking everything too literally. I'm sorry that you guys took that too literally. I don't know how to make you guys understand that there's more nuance to things. I guess when you say the Nazi word, people flip out, so I apologize to anybody's feelings who I have hurt, and I hope that clears up some of the misconceptions that Bering has been putting out about my video, and I look forward to the great comments about kill yourself, beta cuck, faggot, etc. in the comments. Look forward to it. Thank you.